Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tuesday, December 11th, 2018. Top news story this morning. A mass shooting at a church in Brazil during Mass. And the initial headlines were that at least 4 people were killed. I just noticed as I finished making this post that the BBC had updated it from 4 dead to 5 dead. So we'll see where the final number goes to. But again and again, when these mass shootings occur, they initially report at least 4 dead. And remember, 4 has the association with death, which comes from the East. In Mandarin Chinese, you pronounce the number 4 and the word death the same. Also in Gematria, shooting equals 44, kill equals 4, gunfire equals 44. So if you're new here, what I educate is about how across the world, if you know the numerical code behind English, you can see how this news is manufactured across the world. All news is synced up with the date. So for example, today's December 11th, 2018. It's a date with numerology of 61 and 34. And in the English language, the word church has a numerical value of 61 and 34. This practice of coding numbers into words is called Gematria. And just in case you're new here, I want to show you something. Derek's calculator is not working again. Let me give you a quick introduction to how this works. And when you load up Derek's calculator, it gives you 4 ciphers. We're just going to go down to the most easy to understand. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, up to Z is 26, just using the alphabetic order. And if you write out English, it's 74. If you write out Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words, it's 74. It's largely a Masonic practice, 74. It's also a Jewish practice. And with regards to a church, think about the central figure in Christianity in the English language. His name is Jesus, which sums to 74. He died on the cross, 74. He was Messiah, 74. The story about him is the gospel, 74. He spoke in parables, 74. The English translation of Jesus is the name Joshua, and even Joshua is 74. And statistically, it's improbable for all of those words to have the same numerical value. Gematria is about putting words together that have natural relationships just in words and also matching numerical values. So anyway, special number, 74. And now coming back to this story, today's date has 61 numerology and 34. The word church, using the alphabetic order, 61. Using the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, church is 34. And the difference is, in the dark blue cipher, C is the 3rd letter, so C is still 3. H is the 8th letter, so H is still 8. U is the 21st letter. In this green cipher, U is worth 21. But in this cipher, you take the numerology of 21. So U becomes 2 plus 1, 21. 2 plus 1 is 3. R, the 18th letter, 18 becomes 1 plus 8 is 9. So R is worth 9 over here. You just take the numerology of the letter placement. Break it down to a single digit number. That's what numerology is. So that's the difference. But notice both values, they go with the date. So good day in the news for a church shooting by the numbers. The word murder also has that Gematria 34. This is a story of murder. And I noticed that this city where this happened is on the 47th parallel. The word Christian has this Gematria 47. Now notice Christian's also 61. This is when you turn the alphabetic order around. When you flip the alphabetic order around, Christian is 61. When you flip the alphabetic order around, Jesus is 61. Same with cross. And again, these words go together, right? Church, Christian, Jesus, cross. We have this 61 date numerology. As we talked about a minute ago, church is also 34, syncing up with the date numerology. So is Jesus when you flip the alphabetic order around. So is cross. This church was inaugurated in 1883. There's a song that came out in 1983. It's called Murder by Numbers. It's called Murder by Numbers. And the word murder with the alphabetic order is 79, but when you flip the alphabetic order around, murder is 83. It's a number that shows up in tragedies again and again. Murder by Numbers, a song about killing people as simple as A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, like this code we're talking about. So interesting that this church where this tragedy now happened, 1883 was the year. The name of the church, the full name is the Metropolitan Cathedral of Our Lady of the Conception. That name has gematria of 218, like death. And now, part of this church's legacy is this mass shooting, this incident of death and tragedy occurring. Today, December 11th, it's the day leaving 20 days left in the year. When you use the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology, death, cross, time, seasons, they all sum to 20. And just using the alphabetic order, T, a lowercase t, which looks like a cross, is the 20th letter of the alphabet. The cross, the symbol of Christianity. It's a symbol that's associated with death, the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, and the cross to the pagans is a symbol of time and the four seasons. There was once a merging of paganism and Christianity during the time of the Crusades. The Catholic Church wanted to figure out how to get more people to come into their spiritual belief system. They thought using the symbol of the pagans would be effective marketing of their time. The name of the cathedral, in short, how most headlines are putting it, just the Metropolitan Cathedral. What jumps out about that name is it has gematria of 121, like Revelation, which is the final book of the Bible about the return of Jesus. 121 has a square root of 11. Jesus equals 11. And in most Bibles, Revelation is the 66th book. When you add 1 through 11 together, it equals 66. Revelation's 22 chapters long. 11 and 22 are the master numbers in numerology. Knowledge that's older than the New Testament. And something else that stands out is the local name of the cathedral sums to 337, which is the 68th prime, Brazil 68. But there's something that's more important than that 68 that I forgot to put in here, so I'll just add it up right now. The word crucifix has this gematria of 68. Or is it crucifixion? It's crucifixion, that's what it is. The crucifixion of Christ. We've talked about this with Kanye West, whose birthday corresponds with this number and who had a statue put up on a date with 61 numerology of him on the cross. And what is it? Kanye goes by the name Yeezus, which has this gematria of 61, and now he's working on a new album called Yandi, which is 61 and 34. So, we've seen these riddles with these same numbers done in other ways in mainstream headlines. Kanye West's statue appeared February 22nd, 2017, which was a date with 61 numerology. Just like today's date. 2 plus 22 plus 20 plus 17. But this cathedral, gematria of 337, the 68th prime, 337 is the 68th prime, Brazil 68, crucifixion 68, the word terror 68. Here in the United States, the biggest terror scheme ever waged against us by the numbers, which is what allowed me to figure out this code, was September 11th. In 1968, the plan went into motion for September 11, 2001. Again, 911 was made the national emergency dialing code in 1968. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones, the secret society that identifies by a number. From his birthday to 9/11 is a span of 68 days each year. 2001, A Space Odyssey came out in that year. So you might work on November 11th this year, the big tribute to 9/11 and 68. Talk about this quite often. And I've also mentioned that September 11th is New Year's Day for Coptic Christians. And we were talking about 74 in the beginning of this video. The World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian. They look like massive 11s in the 11th state. I think there was some crucifixion symbolism in that day as well. You know, those buildings came down 33 years after construction began, kind of like how it's believed Christ was crucified on the cross at age 33. So, just wanted to do another reminder here. News by the numbers happens across the world. English is the language of the New World Order. That's why you can apply English across the globe to mainstream headlines and see what's really going on in the world. Again, New World Order is a real thing. It is a Masonic world order. They operate by this code. They're achieving the same goals across the planet. So we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.